Are you still buying gas, groceries, and fast food without getting cash back? Why are you doing that? You could be getting cash back on all of these things. And not like, here's some credits to use at this store again and some points. This is cash. This is money on your phone that you can then deposit straight into your PayPal and then put that into your bank account. Over the last 2 years, I have earned $299.39 on Upside. Now, they have cashback offers at all kinds of places. Circle K, Lion's Choice, local random restaurants, Papa Murphy's, Phillips 66, Huck's, all kinds of places now. You can get cash back just for shopping there. All you have to do is give them the last 4 digits of your card, and then they just make sure that you use those same cards at these places and give you cash back on the app. When you go to get the app, use the invite code Janice3538. That's JANICE 3538 to get an automatic 15 cents back per gallon on your first transaction using the app. This year, I'm using the money that we save up for Christmas. It's May, and I've only used it a couple of times on things other than gas, and I already have almost $60 saved up for Christmas for the kids this year. I'm hoping to have about $200 saved up, which doesn't sound far-fetched, especially because now they're offering it at over 50 different local restaurants and 50 different nationwide companies. So like I said, get the app, Upside. That's UPSIDE, and use the invite code Janice3538 to get 15 cents per gallon back on your first transaction. Upside doesn't share any of your personal information with your referral network, so you don't have to worry about like your friends who you refer to the app knowing everything you do and everywhere you shop. Same with people who you are referred from, so don't worry. No one's going to know all the things that you buy.
You dumb fucking bitch!
Bitch.
Bitch!
You bitch! The nigger bitch!
Heinous bitch is the
Fucking bitch.
Bitch.
You're a bitch!
The bitch.
Hi. Yes, hello. I am here. It is me, the bitch with the podcast. For who knows what fucking reason. This week we're doing an informative one, but it's kind of like a celebrity gossip informative one because it's on Nepo babies. Not just like any Nepo babies. These are going to be people that you didn't necessarily realize were Nepo babies. Like we all know the famous ones. Like we know, Kate Hudson. We know Carrie Fisher. We know they are Nepo babies. Even Jamie Lee Curtis is a Nepo baby. Basically everybody in Hollywood is a Nepo baby. But we're just going to talk about some younger-ish ones that you might not realize that the reason that they're probably famous is because their family is famous also. Not saying that's the only reason they're famous, but saying like they didn't have a hard time getting into the industry because their family are famous. So same as always, start with a social. I never do this in the right order, and I really don't fucking care. But the kids are home this week, so it's a cart. You might hear it, you might not. Don't doubt that I'm doing this because I'm doing it with you. So, All right, that was a long-ass pause. Sorry, not sorry. Interesting thing that happened this week, and if you go on my TikTok, you can see a before and after video that I did, but I got a new desk, and I'm really fucking excited because I've been wanting a new desk for a while, and we just couldn't find one that I liked that wasn't $200 and something. So we went to the Salvation Army store and found this industrial style desk that's basically brand new. Like it doesn't look like it's been used, and it's the industrial style. So even if it did, you wouldn't be able to tell. And it was already put together. If you've ever assembled furniture, I would have paid $100 for this fucking desk just because it's put together already. I don't mind putting together furniture. It's just kind of the bane of my existence when I usually end up doing it backwards the first time, and then I got to take it apart and redo it, and then I'm just pissed. So it was put together already, so I got to rearrange my entire studio. It was fantastic. I'm so fucking happy. I love it so much. It's twice the size of the desk that I was using. So much room spread out. I can have all of my pens and markers and shit like on my desk instead of them all being in a bag that I keep over to the side when I'm taking notes for class. Anyway, it is Women's History Month, which should be 24/7 all the time. But anyway, so yeah, this month we're going to feature women, AFAB, trans women, non-binary people, basically everyone except for cishet men. Musicians this month. The first one I have is a BIPOC queer female. I just say female. I mean like woman. It's Morgan Clay. Morgan Clay is amazing. Their music is beautiful. The song that I am going to feature a little clip of is called 26. And it is on all kinds of platforms. I will link in the show notes. And yeah. Shit's vibey. Like, so vibey. Her voice is beautiful. And she does dope makeup. Her TikTok is kind of a mix between just like personal, random, regular videos and then her music videos, which I really like whenever artists do that because I kind of want to know who you are as an artist. Yeah. I need to stop doing that. I'm going to try so hard to stop saying and because when I go through to edit, I take out all of them. I usually end up deleting about 5 minutes worth of random sounds from each episode. So I'm trying to not do that because it gives me a lot less work to do when I'm editing because sometimes I can just bust through and not even have to do anything. Sometimes I have to sit and delete 100 ums when I don't know what I'm saying. So let's get started. First, I'm going to tell you guys what nepotism means because some people might not know what nepotism means and I didn't know until I was like a teenager what it meant. So then you'll know and you'll know what to look for. Nepotism is the practice among those with power or influence of favoring relatives, friends, or associates, especially by giving them jobs. The way I'm going to start this is I'm going to tell you guys about 3 kind of dynasties in show business. Then I'll rapid fire you some random ones that you might not have known have famous parents. Then I'm going to jump into the very relative to right now. Like I did very important people right now, not so much people who don't really matter anymore. These are all going to be people who have active working careers right this second, not just like some randos. Anyway, the Lawson, Knowles, Gordy, Guy, Fucus. That is a line of hyphenated names. They have ruled for 71 years. Actor Richard Lawson married actress Denise Gordy, who is the niece of Motown founder Berry Gordy, and who had a child with Marvin Gaye. Richard and Denise had a daughter, actress Bianca Lawson. Denise's aunts were songwriters Anna Gordy Gaye, who was married to Marvin Gaye, and songwriter Gwen Gordy Fuqua, who married the Motown singer-producer Harvey Fuqua. I think that's how you say that name. Please somebody tell me if I'm not saying it right and be nice. Harvey was the uncle of director Antoine Fuqua. Meanwhile, Berry Gordy is the ex-partner of Diana Ross, the father and grandfather, respectively, of Red Foo and Sky Blue of LMFAO, the father of 80s one-hit wonder Rockwell, and the second half-cousin of Jimmy Carter, whose trigger warning, whose great-grandfather had impregnated an enslaved woman he owned, thus fathering Berry's grandfather. Whoa. Okay, anyway. Richard Lawson later married Tina Knowles, the mother of Beyonce and Solange. Beyonce married Jay-Z, and their firstborn child, Blue Ivy, is the youngest person to hit the Billboard charts. That's a lot. That's a lot to tell you that Beyonce is the great-great-great granddaughter of Jimmy Carter's second cousin who impregnated an enslaved woman that he owned. The fuck? Sometimes I just copy paste this shit and I don't read it before I come on to record, so you guys get like live reactions to me reading this information. Oh my God. I just read the beginning. I saw the Knowles part, so I was like, oh, it's about Beyonce. Oh my God. All right. Woo. The Coppolas have ruled for 52 years. Composer Carmine, I almost said Carmine and I meant Carmine, but I just realized you can say it either way, or you can say it a lot of different ways. So I say Carmine. So composer Carmine Coppola was the father of director Francis Ford Coppola and actress Talia Shire. Francis's children are filmmakers Sofia Coppola and Roman Coppola. Sofia is married to Thomas Mars of the band Phoenix. Talia's sons are actors Jason Schwartzman and musician Robert Schwartzman of Rooney. Carmine was also the grandfather of actor Nicolas Cage. Oh, we have to make this bigger. Hold on. It, made it smaller for some reason. There we go. Okay. That was weird. Whew. Carmine was also the grandfather of Nicolas Cage. And Francis's granddaughter is director Gia Coppola, whose 2020 film Mainstream co-starred her cousin Jason, which I didn't know that Jason Schwartzman had a brother who was in Rooney, which I used to listen to Rooney back in the day. And if you know who Rooney is, they were the band who was featured in The Princess Diaries. Just, a little thing. That's the band that was featured in The Princess Diaries. Yeah. Anyway, the third one is really short, but, you know who these people are, so it's not like it's going to be like, who are they? Everyone should know who these people are. So, the Chaplins have ruled for 110 years. Playwright Eugene O'Neill was the father of actress Una O'Neill, who married Charlie Chaplin. Una also dated J.D. Salinger, which I found that to be pretty interesting. They had a daughter, actress Geraldine Chaplin. Geraldine's daughter is Game of Thrones actress Una Chaplin. That's funny. She named her after... Oh, that's great. That is so funny. Sorry that you would name your daughter after that. Anyway. Now the rapid fire. These are just going to be people you know who they are. I'm not going to go through a list of things that they're in. They're pretty well-known household names. And then you might not know who their famous parent is. One of these, I literally had to get out of my chair. It's actually the first one. I had to get out of my chair and walk upstairs and tell my husband who it was, because I was like, are you kidding me? So Jessica Capshaw, who plays Arizona in Grey's Anatomy, I never knew her actual real name. I always just called her Arizona, like everybody else I know. Her dad is Steven Spielberg. I did not know that. It literally blew my mind. And it makes sense. I mean, she's a great actress. I love her. But her dad's Steven Spielberg. Bryce Dallas Howard. I didn't put two and two together. And for some of these, it's one of those things where they have a common last name. Like a common in America last name. Not just oh, that's a common actor name. No, it's a common in America last name. Like Jones or Brown or something like that. Bryce Dallas Howard. Her dad is Ron Howard. And I never knew that. I never put two and two together to even think about it. So, yeah. Oh my God. Ben Platt, who was in Pitch Perfect. He's the nerdy dude in Pitch Perfect. His dad, Mark Platt, is a producer, which I don't know who his dad is, but just knowing that his dad's famous is probably how he got a bunch of jobs, because that dude is awkward. This is another one that blew my mind because this person rules my sun, moon, and earth, and I'm obsessed with her. It's Mariska Hargitay. Her mom is Jane Mansfield. I had no fucking idea. Just look up who Jane Mansfield is if you don't know who that is. But I had no idea that her mother was Jane Mansfield. That blew my mind. Josh Brolin's mom is Barbra Streisand. Didn't know that one at all. Billie Eilish's mom is Maggie Baird. If you look her up, you'll know who she is by seeing her. If you used to watch a lot of movies as a kid and stuff. I didn't know her name, but then once I saw a picture of her, I was like, oh, I know her. She's in the industry. And this one is another one that blew my mind. And I was like, oh my God. And if you don't know the history of American oligarchies, then this isn't going to make sense. If you don't know anything about like deep American wealth, but you should, like, just for your own well-being and just because you live in this country, which I know that no one outside of the country listens to this podcast, so this includes all of you. Anderson Cooper's mom is Gloria Vanderbilt. That blew my mind. Now, this is not to say that everyone except for Ben Platt, that I do not think that that guy is talented at all. I think he's kind of like, he reminds me of, oh, he's so boring. I can't even think of his name. Hold on, let me see who it is, because I can't even think of his name. He's in American Ultra. Is it Jesse Eisenberg who I'm thinking of? Yeah, Jesse Eisenberg. To me, Jesse Eisenberg, like, I know everyone's seen that meme where it's like, Jesse Eisenberg didn't mean to act. He just wandered onto a soundstage one day and someone said, that looks good, we'll stick with that. Like, that to me is how this Ben Platt dude is. It's like he just kind of there, existing. I know he can sing or whatever, but I don't know. All right, we're going to start all the way at the beginning of my list, and that begins with Timothy Chalamet, which my kid yelled at me about the way I used to say it's Chalamet, whatever his name is. Timothy with 2 E's. So that's how I'm saying that. Until he comes and tells me how to say his name. Like, until I see a video, which I should have just looked up, and I really don't care. So he was in Dune, Interstellar, and he's in the upcoming Wonka, which I'm actually pretty excited to see. I feel like that's going to be really good. He's been in a lot of other stuff. I'm not going to list every fucking thing these people have been in. I'm just listing the things that I have seen or know of or think you might know of. Don't come for me. You can look these people up too. I'm not going to source where I got all of this information because it's literally from Wikipedia. Like, all of their family information is all from Wikipedia. I'm not going to think that that's not real information. That's the kind of information that I trust Wikipedia with. Okay? For future reference, if I don't give a source on where I got something, especially if it's like a personal familial connection, it's from Wikipedia. I'm going to trust them on family tree stuff because, like, why would that be wrong? That's stupid. So, let's see. He has a sister named Pauline Chalamet. I don't know how. I'm just going to say the name as many times as I feel like it in different ways. She was in King of Staten Island and mostly French movies that I've never heard of. They were all in French and had French names, so I wasn't even going to list them. Timothy says that the Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight is what inspired him to act. His mom is Nicole Flender. She had a small part in a 90s movie and was a former Broadway dancer, as well as she's a big real estate agent in New York. His dad is Mark Chalamet, which I'm going to say it different every time. He is the editor for UNICEF, as well as a New York correspondent for Le Parisien, which is a French New York newspaper. Yeah. Let's see. His uncle is Rodman Flender, who is a director on Dawson's Creek, Idle Hands, The Office, Ugly Betty, and The O.C. And his aunt, who is married to Rodman Flender, is a writer and producer and the co-creator of Party of Five. Usually when they talk about him, Timothy, they'll reference his aunt and uncle, not so much his mom and dad, but his mom and dad still had connections. Like, you can't deny his mom being a big real estate agent and being on Broadway and being in movies in the 90s, as well as his dad being the editor for UNICEF. Yeah, you have connections, whether it's professional in the acting industry or not. Next one, Kristen Stewart. You all know her from Twilight. She was in Charlie's Angels and American Ultra. She has 3 siblings. One of them kind of acts. She never wanted to act. She actually wanted to be behind the scenes and be a producer, screenwriter, director, something like that. And she used to practice her autograph when she was little, but only because she liked pens a lot. Not because she wanted to be famous. It was because she liked writing her name with different kinds of pens. She says she has a fixation with pens, which I love that. I like Kristen Stewart. Okay, people? I think that she was given shitty roles when she was younger and then was pigeonholed and then everyone treated her like shit and then she just doesn't care. Like, she just fucking doesn't care. She was discovered in a school Christmas play, which I think that's just kind of a story, you know? Like, I think that's just kind of a story because wait till you hear who her parents are. And she came out as bisexual in 2017, which obviously, look at the name of the podcast, we stan a bi queen. Her dad is Jon Stewart. Not that Jon Stewart. He's a director. He directed Fear Factor, The Cabin, and On Air with Ryan Seacrest, and he directs a lot of award shows. Like, if you look him up, most of his credits are for, like, award shows. Her mom is Jules Stewart. She's a script supervisor, and she's worked on Triple X, Little Giants, a couple of the TMNT movies, Halloween Town. She has a lot of credits. If you look up her mom, Jules Stewart, she has a shitload of script supervising credits and writing credits. She's worked on, like, a lot of shit. Margaret Qualley is our next one. She was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Stars at Noon, and Maid, and a lot of other shit. Her parents split when she was young, and she spent time 50-50 with her parents. She was a full-blown debutante, and she was debuted at Bal des Débutantes in Paris. If you don't know what a debutante is, it's like a girl, and when she's old enough to be, like, looking towards marriage and shit, they debut her. Just watch Bridgerton or Downton Abbey or any older movie about high society in either England or America. Like, you'll just see it. They fucking debut the debutantes. We are show ponies. Us as females, we are show ponies. They wanted to show us off and be like, look at my daughter, look how beautiful she is. We have this much money in dowry to give you if you'll just take her off our hands. So she went to the North Carolina School of the Arts, which is a boarding school, of course, because you'll find out in a second who her mom is. She decided she didn't want to dance anymore after attending the American Ballet Theater and being offered a spot as an apprentice at the North Carolina Dance Theater, and then she stayed in New York to model instead. She has a sister, Rainey, who has been in a few small films, but has never matched her sister's success so far. We'll see what happens. I think she's older. Her dad is Paul Qualley, whatever. He modeled for Gap and was a sports star in high school and got a scholarship for Cal State. And he's a rancher, musician, and actor. Her mom is Andie MacDowell, which if you watched a lot of 80s movies, you'll know exactly who she is. She's in St. Elmo's Fire and Groundhog Day and Magic Mike and Beauty Shop. She's in a lot of things now as like a mom, but like the hot mom. She's in the second Magic Mike, the one where we get to hear Matt Bomer sing. She's in that one, and she's one of the MILFs in the house where they go and stay. She's funny. I love Andie MacDowell. I'm here for it. She's great. This next person might be a trigger for some people because he does have allegations against him for just being inappropriate towards younger fans. They were never substantiated, so right now they are just allegations. It's Ansel Elgort. He was in Baby Driver, The Fault in Our Stars, and Divergent. I used to be obsessed with him like way back in the day in like 2015 because he has an incredible voice. And okay, I've never told anybody this. Well, I told my husband, but he doesn't know who the fuck Ansel Elgort is. I think Ansel Elgort is the singer of Sleep Token. Okay? If you know who Sleep Token is, I think Ansel Elgort is the singer in Sleep Token. If you go back and you listen to him, he has a song called Home Alone. Okay, hold on. Pause. We're going to do this. We're doing this right now. Somebody needs to, you all are going to hear this.
Did I mistake you for a sign from God? Or are you really into cut me off?
Okay, that was Sleep Token. That was the summoning. Everyone fucking knows it. It's from TikTok. All right, I'm going to play a little clip from Ansel Elgort's song Home Alone. Okay, and to me, it sounds like it's his voice. Just, produced a lot.
Go home, alone, alone. I don't wanna go home.
Okay, so to me, if you add a couple filters and produce that a little bit, it sounds like the same voice. Plus, no one knows who is in Sleep Token, and you would have to have resources to be able to stay as hidden as they have stayed. Because at their shows, they literally put on black body paint from head to toe and wear the masks and cover everything up. So you can't tell if they have tattoos. You can't see any of it. So it could just be a whole bunch of white dudes just covered in black body paint, and we don't know who the fuck it is. But no one knows who is in Sleep Token. No one knows anything about them. They're so secretive. That's just my random fucking blow it out my ass conspiracy theory about who I think the lead singer of Sleep Token is. But anyway, back to who Ansel Elgort is. He attended the School of American Ballet. His dad is Arthur Elgort, a fashion photographer who worked for Vogue, GQ, Glamour, and Rolling Stone. His mom is Greth Barrett Holby. She was a theater producer, cinematographer, choreographer, stage director, but mainly focused on opera. Her mom, like his grandma, was in a concentration camp for saving Jews during World War II. And his mom was a dancer for a few ballet companies and had many ballets that she created that were performed all around America. And she founded the Family Opera Initiatives, which I don't know what that is, but she founded it. So that's who Ansel Elgort's mom is. All right, next one is a big stan. We all love her. Zero hate, obsessed with her. Anyway, it's Maya Hawke. She was in Stranger Things, Little Women, Do Revenge. She is dyslexic and changed schools a lot as a kid. She dropped out of Juilliard after only 1 year after getting cast in Little Women. She modeled for Vogue just like both of her parents in the beginning of her career. And she was the original choice for Ariel in a live-action adaptation by Sofia Coppola, who we talked about a little bit earlier. And it was through Universal, but due to schedule conflicts, it was ultimately canceled. So she was going to be Ariel in another live-action Little Mermaid adaptation. Her dad is Ethan Hawke, who I'm obsessed with and have been since I was little. I love him. He is in Black Phone, Dead Poet Society, The Purge, Boyhood, Valerian. He's in like a million things. You can look him up. He was in so much shit when he was younger. He was a part of the Brat Pack in the 80s. He was in tons of stuff as a teenager. Her mom is Uma Thurman. Her mom was in Kill Bill, Pulp Fiction, Batman and Robin, and about 900 other things. Both of her parents are A-list actors. Like, this girl comes from good soil. Just saying. Her grandma was Nina von Schlubrig. She was a high fashion model and worked for Ford Models, and she was in Vogue and Harper's Bazaar. And her great-grandma was Birgit Holmquist, who posed for Femme Tage. I don't know how to pronounce it. I didn't look it up, and I probably should have. Which is a statue that is currently still on display in Sweden. So it's a famous Swedish statue. Her great-grandma, posed for that. So she goes back. Her blood goes back a while. Next one is Ever Anderson. She's little. She was in Peter Pan and Wendy. Oh, she is going to be in Peter Pan and Wendy. She plays Wendy in the new one coming up that I am so fucking excited for. I cannot wait. I love all Peter Pan. Don't care if you try to tell me it's a metaphor for taking children to death. Cool. Makes me like it even more. You want to keep trying? Bye. She was in Black Widow, and she was in Resident Evil with her mom, who, if you can figure it out now who her mom is, good job. Her parents didn't want her to be in the industry to begin with, and her first job was on the cover of Vogue Bambini, which is the kids' Italian Vogue, and she takes Taekwondo and speaks English, French, Russian, and Japanese. I'm going to wait to tell you who her mom is, because her mom is like queen of all things sci-fi. Literally was voted queen of all things sci-fi. Her dad is Paul William Scott Anderson. He is a writer, director, and producer, and he wrote, directed, and produced all of the Resident Evils, Mortal Kombat, Event Horizon, and Three Musketeers, as well as like a bazillion other things. He's got a very long filmography. Her mother is Mila Jovovich, who is literally just like Queen, Bae, Stan, all of them, obsession for most of my life. She is in all the Resident Evils, Fifth Element, Monster Hunter, and a bazillion other things also. Her father was arrested and charged in the largest health insurance-related fraud ever investigated. Mila Jovovich's dad. I thought that was cool. I figured we would include that because that's fucking cool. Not cool that it happened, just a cool fact to know. She is a recording artist with an EP, a studio album, and one single, and has appeared on 6 different soundtracks. She has had over 100 modeling contracts and had a short career as a designer in 07-08, and they decided to stop designing because she was just too busy with acting. She was like, I'm spreading myself too thin between being a mom, a wife, and an actor, producer, director, writer, because she does everything. So that's Mila. We love Mila. All right, the next one can be controversial because it's a set of siblings, and the male sibling has been accused lately of pulling a Leo. He dates younger women. He does not date anyone who is not legal. So let's just put it there. I don't like big age gaps at all. Like, at all. It's kind of weird to me. But, like, if you're an adult and they're an adult and nobody's being groomed or whatever, then that's fine. Like, As long as you're not, like, dating somebody after having known them since they were 13, that's when it's weird. That's when it's really weird. When you're, like, in your 30s and she's in her 13, and then you guys wait until she's 18 to be together, that's still fucking weird. I had guys on the internet counting down until my 18th birthday. It doesn't make it any less weird. It still makes it fucking weird. When you're younger, you think of it as attention, but that's because we don't know any fucking better. It's weird. Anyway, if you can't figure it out now, it's Maggie and Jake Gyllenhaal. Jake has been in, obviously, Donnie Darko, like my favorite movie, Jarhead, Southpaw, Brokeback Mountain, Spider-Man Far From Home, and Nightcrawler, as well as a bazillion other things. Just, you can look these people up and look up their filmographies. He could have been in the Mighty Ducks, but his parents didn't want him leaving home for that long, so he just wasn't. Their parents insisted that they have summer jobs, so they didn't have, like, a super cushy life. They had a pretty normal life growing up. They had to have normal jobs during the summer and everything. He dated Taylor Swift, and then her dumbass wrote a song about him, and then he was canceled online for dating younger but legal girls, like I just said. Like, he hasn't been accused of anything salacious. People don't like that he dates younger women. They're legal. Like, I'm pretty sure his current girlfriend's 20, which is gross, 13 years younger than me, but still not illegal. Like, he's dating legal women that are just younger than him. Let's see. Maggie was also in Donnie Darko, Nanny McPhee, Mona Lisa Smile, White House Down, The Dark Knight. She's got a pretty bag, like, she's got a long rap. I love Maggie Gyllenhaal. She married her brother's co-star from Jarhead, Peter Sarsgaard. Not Skarsgård. It's no K. Sarsgaard. He's got quite a few acting credits also. Once I saw who he was, I was like, oh shit, I know who he is. He's in all kinds of stuff. He usually plays a supporting acting role. He's not really an A-list actor, but I really like him in everything I've seen him in. So their dad was Stephen Gyllenhaal. He was a director and a poet. He was in movies that you've literally never heard of. He was in one episode of Twin Peaks, and he is a descendant of cavalry officer Niels Gunnison Hall, who was ennobled in 1652 by Queen Christina of Sweden and given the crest and family name of Gyllenhaal. I can't say it whenever I'm just looking at it as Jake Gyllenhaal. Like, I know that his name is Gyllenhaal. Like, I don't know why my brain is adding the G noise. Their uncle is Anders Gyllenhaal. He was an executive editor of the Miami Herald. Their mom is Naomi Foner. She's a screenwriter, producer, and director. She has Ashkenazi Jewish grandparents who immigrated here from Latvia and Poland. I just like noting that because Ashkenazi Jews are really interesting. Like, look up their way of life and their beliefs and everything. It's pretty interesting. I've watched quite a few documentaries on them. She was an associate producer for 2 seasons of The Electric Company way back in the 80s. And she directed Very Good Girls in 2013. Next one is Lily Collins. Not the Lily Collins who's a singer. This is Lily Collins who's an actress, and you know who she is. I didn't realize I knew who she was, but everyone knows who she is. She was in Emily in Paris, To the Bone, Mirror, Mirror, and she was Collins in The Blind Side, which is weird. It would be weird being called by my last name all the time, but as a first name. But yeah, she was Collins in The Blind Side. I liked her in that. I thought she did really good. I didn't even realize that's who she was until I was looking at her filmography. She was also a debutante, and she was also debuted at the Bal des Débutantes in Paris. So we have 2 debutantes on this list, which, okay, that right there should be a flag. I don't know what color flag, but like a flag that somebody is a Nepo baby. If you're a debutante, that means you have enough money to where people care whether you're able to date or not. That's what debutantes are. It's like you're coming out as a woman to say, hello, oogle over me, think about me naked, and how much money you want my parents to give you to take me off of their hands. She also struggled with ED earlier in her teen years, and she talks about it in her memoir. Another, yay, go her. Like, I'm really happy that people are talking about it. Like, I'm glad that she is able to overcome it and talk about it. Her mom is Jill Tavelman, and she was the former president of the Beverly Hills Women's Club, something that basically nobody fucking cares about. Her dad is Phil Collins, like Phil Collins from Genesis. Like, dun 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 dun, that Phil Collins. Like, if you don't know who Phil Collins is, what the fuck are you doing with your life, and have you not ever seen a Disney movie? Anyway, I'm just going to tell you cool things about Phil Collins. You don't need to know who he is. These are just cool things about him. You should know who he is. Go look who he is. up, like now. If you don't, go watch a YouTube video. He's had more top 40 singles in the 80s than any other artist. And this I didn't know, and I think it's pretty cool. He is one of 3 artists, the other 2 are Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney, who have sold over 100 million records as artists, both solo and in groups. So that's like a trio that almost nobody can touch. I can't think of a single person who would be able to come close. Maybe Beyonce. I could see Beyonce hitting that, like having sold records between her and Destiny's Child. I could see her coming close. Hold on, we'll pause and look that up. This is my hold music. How many total record sales has Beyonce had as an artist? Let's see. Oh, so hold on. Beyonce destroys all of them. Because she sold over 260 million records worldwide between her solo career and Destiny's Child. But Billboard only ranked her as the 37th greatest artist of all time. I would solidly say that Beyonce, I don't even like Beyonce's music. Like, if you know me personally, I don't like Beyonce's music. I find it annoying, and it's just not my thing. It's just not my style of music. I just really don't like her. But I'm not going to, knock the hustle. She's a badass, and, go her. But also, she's a part of, Hollywood celebrity royalty. So whenever you guys hear somebody talk about how Beyonce is a self-made woman, she is not. We just go back to the beginning of this episode and listen to who her family is. Her family are self-made in terms of a descendant of her family were owned people whose second cousin was a president. But Beyonce herself isn't self-made. Her family had money and she came from that. So, right now, our very last person is Elle King, who is a singer. And if you don't know, her song is X's and O's, they haunt me. Everybody knows that song. It was fucking everywhere on TikTok for a solid year. That's her. She has the theme song for Mob Wives Chicago on VH1. She was inspired by the Donnas to start singing. She began playing banjo in college after seeing a live show featuring the instrument in a rock set. And she was in her dad's movie, Deuce Bigalow, and then used a fake ID while out there to do open mics. And then she stayed around New York City doing open mics and busking. And that's how she was discovered. And then she has also worked at a tattoo shop. Her mom is London King, who is a former model. And her dad is Rob Schneider. That Rob Schneider. You can do it, Rob Schneider. From every Happy Madison movie ever. He was in Deuce Bigalow, The Hot Chick, and he narrated 8 Crazy Nights. Just think of a stupid Adam Sandler movie, and Rob Schneider's been in it. I did not know that he is Filipino. And I've always been when I was younger, it was one thing because I love Adam Sandler movies. I've always loved them since I was little. It's always been a staple in our house. My uncle looks, acts, sounds, does everything like Adam Sandler. So I have quite a large soft spot for him. But then it also kind of bothered me that he always had Rob Schneider out here playing a token, person of color. And he's not, but he is. He's a quarter Filipino and half Jewish, which makes it not better. But I guess that's why Adam Sandler always has him playing blackface, literally. Has him playing an Indian guy. We just watched Click. And Rob Schneider plays Prince Abibu or whatever, who keeps fucking up his name, and you know what I mean. And that's not that old of a movie. And just if you go back, look at Big Daddy, he played the delivery guy. He always has him playing a minority character. And to me, I never even really thought of Rob Schneider as a person of color because I, 1, didn't know that he was Filipino, and 2, he just looks like everybody else's white dad, so you don't think anything of it, really. But yeah, I didn't know that Elle King was his daughter. And thanks to my friend Gina for putting that on her Snapchat story. That's how I found out. That was my very last person I added to the list. And that was just because I was randomly scrolling on Snapchat stories. And she happened to make one saying, did you know that Elle King is Rob Schneider's daughter? And I was like, oh shit, thanks. Got another person to add to the list. So that's this episode. I am not too sure on what my next episode might be about. I'm thinking about I'm either going to do one on the Romanov sisters, Rasputin, and why I think that the movie The Virgin Suicides was inspired by the story of the Romanov sisters. I also want to do an episode on Depression era packaging and like they used to make a lot of stuff in the Depression era and they would use the packaging as something else. They would sell it as a dual use item, and I thought that was just neat finding out that. Kind of looking at the connection between traumatic brain injuries in military vets and the proclivity towards violence, and why we'll hear a news story where they'll say something like ex-Marine beats wife or some shit like that. And we don't think about maybe that has something to do with the traumatic brain injuries that they received while in active duty, because we do pay attention to the traumatic brain injuries that NFL players are getting while playing football and how that changes who they are as a person because of their reactions and things like that. But we're not really paying attention to that in military vets, or we're not giving them the same grace that we're giving fucking NFL players, which I believe they deserve a lot of grace too. But why are the military vets not given the same amount of compassion that football players are? When it's their traumatic brain injuries aren't from just running into walls with a fucking helmet on. They're from explosions in vicinities. You can get TBIs for a lot of different reasons. It's not always just from hitting your head. And that's something I kind of want to look into and just kind of rant about, because I don't think it's fucking fair that people who go overseas for whatever reason, and that's not your place to say on or mine, because the reason I can sit on this fucking thing and say whatever I want without worrying about the government coming and attacking me is because people do that kind of thing. And also, some people don't have access to affordable healthcare, affordable college education, a place to live, or a lot of things. And they get those things by signing up for the military. So that's not your place to say whether or not they made a good choice or not. This is a hill I will die on. If you don't know, my husband is a fucking Marine vet. And so we're not going to talk shit on military vets on this podcast. We only help them and uplift them. But those are a couple of the things that I want to do deep dive on, or just like sit and fucking talk about, because they mean a lot to me. So yeah, I have to figure that out and work on some more. This one was just easy because everyone's talking about Nepo babies now. So it was just like, oh, let's talk about some people who you might not know that they have famous parents or parents in the industry. But I'm dead serious. This article I'm going to link, just go look at it. Basically, everyone in Hollywood is a Nepo baby or is connected in some way, shape, or form. And they don't want you to know it, or if you know about it, they want you to not care. They want you to be like, well, they still worked hard. Some of them did not work hard. Some of them literally just existed, and their parents were like, here, have a movie franchise. Like, literally look them up and you'll see. And some of them are not good actors. Some of them are not talented, and they only have careers because they have famous parents. Other ones made their own way, are very good actors, and can pull their own weight. Some of them don't. So that's Nepo babies. If you ever want to know why you're not going to make it in acting or in Hollywood, it's because other people's children are busy taking all the parts. That's why. They could just go do off-Broadway shows and never have to worry about making money for the rest of their lives, but they would rather be A-list actors just like their parents and grandparents. I only have a little bit of snarkiness to this because my kid decided that she wants to be an actress, and I want so badly for it to work out for her. But if it doesn't, I want to punch people in the face because I'm like, let my baby be an actress. There are enough of you rich kids around here doing it. Let my baby try. She just finally decided what she wants to do with her life. Just let her do it, please. All right, guys, I will shut up. And I hope that you have a great week. And I love you. And try not to pay too much attention to the news because it's depressing. And there's already problems with seasonal depression. And everything's burning down around us. And we really don't need to know all the other horrible things that are happening. But also at the same time, if you want a good podcast to listen to for daily news, I now listen to AP Headlines. They're 2-minute long episodes that give you just highlights of news throughout the day. And it helps. I don't have to read a lot or get all stressed out or upset about anything, but I at least know what's going on in the world now. Also, totally forgot this at the front of the episode. Pretty sure I'm going to have insurance soon, which means I'm pretty sure hopefully, maybe, fingers crossed, everybody say good things, happy thoughts, positive whatevers, that I can get my teeth fixed. And if I can get my teeth fixed, I will feel like a whole human being again, and I'll be able to smile and talk and laugh and do everything like everybody else does without having to constantly put my hand in front of my mouth or talk with my bottom jaw. It's always fucking weird. But I hope that you guys have a good week. I hope that your weekend didn't suck. I love you. Thank you. Bye.
You dumb fucking bitch.
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 You bitch! The mega bitch!
Heinous bitch is the
Fucking bitch.
Bitch?
You're a bitch!
The bitch.
If you've ever thought about making your own podcast, I highly recommend using Buzzsprout. You can find a link in the show notes. And once you're there, they kind of explain everything for you. And it's really pretty cheap, honestly. They give you all kinds of tips and tools on how to increase listeners, how to promote your show, and on monetization. If you have any other questions, they are super responsive. They get back to you within a day, if not like an hour. I use Buzzsprout, and it gives me the ability to host my podcast on basically every single podcast hosting site and app. It's great. I love them. So I'm going to continue to use them. And if you're interested, you should definitely look into them. Like I said, there's a link in the show notes.